VigilanteWilliamson here with a very simple question, and that is Ryan Garcia getting a pass for using steroids to beat Devin Haney? Before we get too deep in this video, please, if you like the video, please like the video, which how do you know? You've only been here a few seconds. But if you've seen what we do here on this channel, we talk about everything, including sometimes sports. Please like, share, and subscribe because we're trying to get monetized completely. We are slightly monetized where you can send super chats during the streams that we do. In any event, if you've been following two channels, because I have a VigilanteWilliamson Vengeance channel, and Ryan Garcia, ironically, was the guy who started that channel as a sports channel. I was talking about his issues that he had with Oscar De La Hoya last year after the Tank loss, and that was one of the bigger videos that I had at the time. And I started to do more boxing and more overall sports coverage on that channel, but I've kind of rolled a lot of that stuff onto this. So Ryan Garcia is a guy I like to talk about. He's been good to me. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Garcia. And honestly, I liked him before this fight. You know what I mean? I thought he before even all the craziness with his Insta scam, that's what I call Instagram, by the way. But the craziness with his Insta scam and the Illuminati and all that weirdness, I thought highly of him just because he had said something about some of the weirdness of Target's marketing, and this is why he had a Gatorade contract. He was in commercials, and I'm like, man, most people with that type of contract in this day and age just shut up and just go with the flow, but he didn't. And then, of course, all that craziness with the Illuminati, allegedly. And I mean, listen, we talk conspiracy theory on this channel as well, so I'm not afraid to broach the subject. And when you do talk about it, you also got to keep in mind that there's a lot of like false heroes made. You know what I mean? This person, Kanye said this, and this person said that. And you know, I hate to, you know, I don't necessarily know if Cat Williams and Jaguar Wright are false heroes, or Orlando Brown, or anyone like that. But you know, oh, this person said this and this person said that. That's become a big hype thing on the internet. And I think Ryan Garcia, with his struggles, and he was talking about a lot of stuff that you're not supposed to talk about, including how they like the youth, and that's the best way of putting it. You know, and some of the Epstein-esque stuff. He talked about a lot of that. I'm sure that got him a lot of hype. But then when these tests came back after the Devin Haney fight, and again, I went into that fight rooting for him, and he was 3 pounds overweight, and the B sample, which recently came back. Listen, unless your argument is because he had all this, you know, Illuminati confirmed stuff happen around him, that you don't believe the test, which I've heard very few people make that argument. It's weird that he's getting a pass. It's weird that people are still like, oh, you know what? We don't care. You know, I get it. On the other end, a lot of people don't like Devin Haney. I don't dislike Devin Haney himself. I'm not the biggest fan of Bill Haney. I get that Bill Haney is supposed to be his Paul Heyman. He's supposed to be the heel wrestling manager to get him over, because Devin doesn't really have that type of personality. I understand that, but I don't really respect Bill Haney as a guy who screams his religion, but yet took a young Devin when he was like 12 or 13 to a strip club. He just seems disingenuous to me, and I'm not the biggest fan. That said, I don't want to see Devin Haney get his jaw broken when he's already a chinny fighter by somebody who allegedly was using steroids, or I should say performance enhancers, because technically Ostarine is a SARM, and actually I don't think it's a SARM. I used to know what Ostarine was. I actually took Ostarine back when I was a younger vigilante and not as a dad body as I am now. And hey, it did actually work. I'm gonna be honest, it worked. But all that aside, I don't like the idea of somebody punching somebody with that. Listen, I'm a everybody's probably on juice anyway type guy. But I don't think it's cool when someone is in a combat sport and they use this stuff. That said, we were talking a little bit about it on the stream. You know, Shout out to Fish Chozo. We were talking specifically about the NFL, which is not necessarily a contact sport or not necessarily a combat sport, but it is a collision sport. And he said, man, if you're not on steroids in the NFL, you might get killed. So that's the other thing. It's not like Devin Haney isn't taking his IVs to get his weight up after fights, allegedly, which is also illegal and something that has been alleged to him. But that's not necessarily the point. I'm exploring a lot of stuff. The point is, I don't think everyone's thinking that deep. I think a lot of people are like, Devin Haney got his ass whooped. Good. I don't care what happened. That's the weird element of it. So I have to bring up the race issue to some extent. And, you know, shout out to Bruce Vane, a channel I watch, Metro Detroiter. Shout out to Detroit, the hometown. He said, you know, if this was Lomachenko, what would have happened? If Ryan Garcia did the same thing to Lomachenko and got caught with a test, you think it would be this mum? I don't. I hate whataboutism as much as the next man. But shit, speaking of Devin Haney and Lomachenko, I thought that fight was a draw, and I have been killed by both fan bases. Going back to that original channel I was talking about, or VigilanteWilliamson Vengeance, I may link the video and maybe some of the Ryan Garcia stuff in the description from that channel. Man, they were so upset. And by the way, just to get back in the fight and defend my initial night one, I thought this was a draw, and I know I'm a lot of tangents. I'll get back to Ryan in a second. We don't do too many 10-8 rounds in boxing unless they are knockdowns. I get that Loma had better work in the rounds that he won, but he took too many rounds off, and that's why I thought it was a draw, and he ended up losing the fight. Not to say that nothing fishy happened, because there were some weird things with some of the rounds that Devin won, but I only bring up this fight and that logic because everyone's going to have a bias, and I found out how passionate those Loma fans were, and how, listen, as much as everyone talks about people who look like me bringing up the race card, boy, do Loma fans, do fans of certain people bring up that race card real quick, man, real quick. And so I only say that to say, if Lomachenko was the victim of Ryan Garcia, like Bruce Vane said, I'm got that from him, and I had to mull it over myself. I agree with it. I don't know that Ryan Garcia would be getting the same pass. I don't know that he would. That said, to play Angel's advocate to even that argument, there does seem to be some people who people don't care if they're on steroids. They don't really care. I mean, we've heard about Clinello on clenbuterol, and no one really cared about that. I mean, people who make jokes, but it didn't really affect his career. Oh, Luke Fury and that quote-unquote wild boar meat, a.k.a. Nandrolone, and didn't really affect his career. Hell, even Big Baby Miller, and everyone jokes about him being Big Pharma and all that other stuff, and there was a lot of heat at the time, but he still was on the Saudi card and still has big fights. People still want to see him fight. Dillian White has gotten popped a bunch of times. Nobody cares. Let's go outside of boxing. You know, we were talking about baseball. Yeah, Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens and some of these guys, Mark McGwire, for some reason they're blackballed, but Andy Pettit or David Ortiz and other guys like that, no one cares about. So there is this weird selectiveness. And if you notice the names, they were across the racial spectrum either way. We pick and choose who we care about when it comes to steroids, and I don't understand it. So as much as the race card could be played to play Angel's advocate, there are plenty of John Jones in MMA. That's another combat sport, and he was caught on steroids. More people talk about the cocaine than the steroids. No one cares. So we pick and choose who we care about when it comes to steroids. Ryan's a likable guy. People liked his story, especially when the Illuminati allegedly got involved. And Devin is kind of the heel, and so maybe there's some of that. I don't know. That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm laying everything out on the table. I know I'm going to get killed in the comments, because how dare I think that one fight's the draw. That's what I thought the night of, and that's, you know, I got to go off of that because judges only get one shot. And honestly, I don't give a fuck. I also think sports are rigged in a lot of ways. So who the fuck knows? But there is this part of me that says, man, I don't like the idea of someone using a substance, especially in a combat sport. He broke Devin's jaw. Devin is already a chinny fighter, as we all know. He may never recover as a fighter. He may never recover. It's one thing to say, well, some of these things may have happened anyway, but who knows how much power Ryan could have had from those substances, assuming he took them. But what do you think? You tell me in the comments. Are you somebody like, man, I don't even believe the test. Man, I don't even care. Man, I hate Devin. Man, I like Ryan. Or, hey, I agree with you. I think it's bullshit what they're doing. I think more people should be shitting on Ryan. And I'm not sure why he's being defended. Or you just like, you know what? Let them all juice each other up. That sounded, no Diddy. Let them all be juiced up and beat the hell out of each other. I don't care. Blood sport, psychopath. I mean, what do you think? And what do you think about the fact that we pick and choose how we view steroids? I got another video specific to steroids that I want to do before the week is out, and I'll try to get that up tomorrow. But what do you think about this whole Ryan Garcia thing? It looks like he's getting a pass, at least by the culture of boxing. Is there a racial element to it? You tell me. I'm not going to keep giving my opinion and my thoughts as scatterbrained as they can be. You tell me what you think about Ryan Garcia and his drug test. If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share and subscribe, please do that. And even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Good night and God bless. Talk to you guys later. Peace.